The rules obviously are different driving your car than they are riding your motorcycle. And specifically today, I'm referring to stopping abruptly with the steering wheel turned or the handlebars turned. Let's talk about it. Good, keep it loaded, keep it loaded, keep it loaded, keep it loaded. Very nice, I'm looking at the camera. Heading on, good, good, good. Preloaders, V.I.Preloaders, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Always a pleasure to have you guys here with me. And you noticed by now, or at least you should. For those of you that are here for the first time, my name is Robert. I'm a retired NYPD Highway Patrol motorcycle lieutenant. And the name of this channel is Be the Boss of Your Motorcycle. Yes, be the boss. I want you to be in 100% control. I don't want you to be intimidated by your motorcycle. I'm talking about its slow speeds, 1 to 10 miles per hour. That's where you have to be the boss to keep this thing upright. Feet on the footboards or the floorboards or the pegs, making right turns, left turns, and the infamous U-turn with confidence. That's what this channel is about. Today I want to talk to you about, I was thinking about this, guys, because yes, I do know that when people transition from driving a car to riding a motorcycle, you ever hear about people saying, listen, I'm going to go in the parking lot and practice driving my car? No, right? Maybe if they're trying to practice for a driving test and they want to practice some parallel parking and drive between some cones. But I'm talking about somebody that's been driving the car for 20 years. Are they going to a parking lot and practicing? No, right? But the rules are different with this, right? They're a lot different, right? And what I want to talk to you guys about specifically today is, and I say it all of the time in my videos, don't stop with your handlebars turned. Remember, guys, now I just did a video prior to this on if you need to stop while you're in the turn, what to do. And if you didn't see that video, I'll put it up here on the right hand corner of the screen, and I'll put a link for it in the description section. But the friction zone, the friction zone, the friction zone. Oh, how I love the friction zone. The friction zone is your friend, not speed. Speed is not your friend. Friction zone is your friend, and it's the answer to a lot of questions, a lot of fear, a lot of doubt that you have on your motorcycle. When you feel, uh-oh, it's about to fall, the friction zone's the answer. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do, guys. Very simple. I'm gonna simulate starting to make a turn and then somebody walking in the path of your vehicle and what your reaction is. Now, what your reaction is in a car is gonna be different, or should be, than what it is on a motorcycle. Now, again, I'm talking about with the steering wheel turned and with the handlebars turned. Because if you're going straight and you just grab the front brake, which you shouldn't do anyway. Of course, I'm not talking about going at speed. Not gonna be a big deal. But when you turn the handlebars, whole nother story. All right, enough talking. Let's look at the car first. Now with the car, no big deal. We do that all the time and you won't even think twice about it. Just hit the brake, the suspension compresses, you come back, done, right? All right. Now on the motorcycle, I'm gonna do the same thing, but I'm gonna do it in two different ways. The first thing I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna do it the way you should absolutely not do it. I'm gonna grab the front brake, I'm gonna pull the clutch all the way in because that's what most of you guys would do. Oh crap, squeeze, and then we'll see what happens. And then I'm gonna do it the proper way, which means I'm gonna be on the rear brake, I'm gonna go into the friction zone, I'm gonna straighten out my handlebars and come to a smooth stop, okay? A controlled stop, how about that? Because sometimes if you're doing something abruptly, if you have to, if the person's right there, which they rarely are, you know, that's what I mean when I say, guys, you do what's necessary. You do what needs to be done. That's part of being the boss of the motorcycle. So the amount of pressure that you apply on the brake is gonna depend on how quickly you need to stop, right? Now here's another contributing factor here. This is a huge contributing factor. Head and eyes. 9 times out of 10, these things are happening to people on their motorcycles because they're not looking before they commit to a turn. Because at the end of the day, depending on the situation, if it's a wide open area, you turn your head and your eyes, I can see where I'm going, but my peripheral vision can see. But I know if I'm making a turn, I'm looking that way anyway, right? I want to make sure I'm good. Again, it's not like a car. You can be lazy and sloppy in this thing because it's got crumple zones. Look how much room there is between the hood of this car and me. Airbags, I'm good. On this, not so much. Your body is so fragile. And forget about just hitting the ground, hitting the motorcycle because of a front impact, right? You got to think about all of these things, all right? All right, enough talk. Let's do it on the motorcycle. Ah. So see, guys, listen. So guys, now that's not me acting. That's not me trying to do something extra. I didn't embellish anything. That is exactly what's going to happen to your motorcycle if you grab the front brake and the handlebars are turned. I mean, it almost feels like something is yanking it down, right? Yanking it. All right, now let's do it again, but let's do it the way it should be done. Now, yeah, I still want to curse him out because how could he not look? But at the end of the day, luckily for him, I know what I'm doing. So A, I don't hit him, and B, I don't drop my motorcycle. So like I said before, you see something and you need to stop this motorcycle, you're already committed to a turn, your handlebars are turned, and you might even be leaned. Make sure you rear brake, go back into the friction zone if you weren't in it already. If you were in it already, great. If you were full throttle, don't pull the clutch all the way in. Pull it into the friction zone. Straighten out your handlebars, come to a stop. Nice and easy. All right, guys? So this is why I talk to you guys about this. It's so relevant what you do with this motorcycle when you're trying to stop it. Now, you know what? I'm going to show you again the same thing, but this time I'm not going to be in the lean. I'm going to be straight up. Let's do that. All right, so now I'm approaching this turn. My handlebars are turned. I'm straight up. There he is. Front brake. As soon as I grab that front brake with the handlebars turned, there's no stopping it. It's going right over. Now that time, no lean. So I'm showing you this because I want you to understand, yes, the lean exaggerates it, but even without the lean, if the handlebars are turned, it's going to make the motorcycle want to go down. Remember, front brake grab, the suspension is moving forward. All right. You know what? Let's do it again. This time, rear brake without any throttle, without any friction zone. I'm just going to hit the rear brake with the handlebars turned. Let's try that. All right, I'm approaching. So now look at that. Wow. So that time, with the handlebars turned, I jammed the rear brake. And I heard the rear wheel lock up a little bit. But that's all I felt. The motorcycle didn't feel like it was going to fall or anything like that. So guys, yes, I don't want you to come to a stop with the handlebars turned, but the purpose of this video is I want to express to you and demonstrate to you how much I don't want you touching this front brake at slow speeds, all right? Please understand that it's not gonna help you, right? It's gonna hurt you. All right, guys, so I hope that helped you out. I know you guys watch my practice session videos all the time, and in exercise number 4, right turns and left turns from a stop, every now and then you see somebody make that turn and then all of a sudden their bike just fall. So that's happening because when they feel uh-oh, they squeeze in the front brake, they squeeze in the clutch first. They squeeze in the clutch because the only reason they felt that uh-oh is they felt the motorcycle falling. So when they squeeze in their clutch, now all they do is exaggerate that falling. It just happens quicker. They grab the front brake, everything about that is going to make that motorcycle fall, period. Now, if they do the same thing and grab the rear brake, now that's going to be dependent on how heavy the motorcycle is. If the motorcycle's heavy, as soon as it stops, especially if they jam the rear brake, because remember, if you grab the front brake, it's going to compress the front suspension, right? And the harder you grab it, remember, we shouldn't be grabbing anything. We squeeze, right? Everything is nice and gentle. Even in emergency braking, we're not grabbing. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then the mistake people make a lot of times with that is they don't squeeze enough, right? They're not using the full braking power that the motorcycle has. Anyway, squeeze. Same thing with your foot. We're not doing anything like this because, you know, believe it or not, when you press the rear brake, your front suspension is still going to compress a little. And if you press it heavy or hard, it's going to compress more. The more that front suspension compresses with the handlebars turn, the greater the chance the motorcycle is going to fall, especially if it's a heavier motorcycle. All right, guys? All right, so listen, I hope this helped you out, guys. Do me a favor and definitely check out my practice session videos. Exercise number 4, particularly because it covers this, but it covers this making turns being straight up and down, no leaning in the motorcycle. All right? If this has helped you out, guys, please hit the like button, subscribe, share, and definitely leave a comment. I never tell people to leave a comment because people already do. And I said to myself, maybe I don't say it because I answer every comment. Sometimes I'm up to the wee hours of the morning. But you know what? I've been able to do it up until now, and hopefully I can always do it. All right, guys? All right, listen. Spend more time being thankful for the things that you have and less time complaining about the things that you don't. I know there's anything you guys could be doing with your time, and the fact that you choose to spend a little bit of it with me, that's always appreciated. All right, guys. You know I'm always telling you the rules don't change no matter what kind of motorcycle you ride. Well, the rules do change from this kind of vehicle to this kind. It changes dramatically for a bunch of different reasons, all right? But I said people don't really practice on these, but you have to practice on this. Slow speed maneuvers, they always come in. Something that you always have to do on your motorcycle: start, stop, slow down. Shouldn't you be good at it, right? Should it be stressful? Something you always have to do. Should it be stressful? I want you to think about that. Seat time doesn't equal practice time, guys. And if you have time to ride, you have time to practice. Until next time.